All right, Fran, I just wanted to give you kind of a quick tutorial on what you're going to want to do come spring to get the boat ready to go, and just some general tips when you're out running this thing, this being your first wake boat. So I'll start on the back, just work my way forward. When you guys are out, if you're going to be tubing or water skiing, you're going to want to pull off this pylon here off the back step of the boat. And that thing is simple. It just twists to lock, and that stays down, and then when you want to use it again, you just twist it and it'll pop back up for you. So that's your ski pylon slash what you're going to pull tubes off of if you guys like doing that at all. On either side of the engine hatch are going to be your storage lockers where the bags are. You simply take those and twist them to unlock them. And as you can see, there's your 750-pound bags with all the plumbing there. When you're filling these things, basically just turn the ballast pumps on and just let them run. Just let them keep running. They're not going to overfill and hurt anything. If they get too full, they'll start to overflow out of the boat. So no worries there. Come spring, all you're going to want to do is get your batteries hooked up. Don't forget to put the terminals on the right way. They should be color labeled. But you have a 2 battery setup, and here's your switch. So right now it's off. You can have it on one or two, or one battery or the other, or both. I mean, most of the time you're going to run them off both, unless you're out, say you're floating and listening to the radio with the motor off. You might want to flip it over to one so it doesn't drain both dead. When you climb down into the boat, you do have a flip down step with some cup holders, so you don't have to walk on the seat. And the seat actually flips around to face backwards, which I can't do filming right now, but you simply lift the thing out and turn it around and pop it back into this track here. It's super simple. Your batteries, flip this up here. So you're gonna have one on each side. There's one under this side seats, and another one over there. So we'll have those disconnected for you. So you just want to pop the terminals and put the cover back on in the springtime. And next we're going to come over to the dash. So your dash is pretty simple. It's going to have your tachometer, fuel gauge, oil, pressure, and then speedo, and engine temp and voltage. And then this is your zero off speed control. Now you have a double battery switch on this. Where here, if you have your battery switches on, you can still keep the batteries off with this switch here. If you want to turn them on, see that zero off comes on there for you. That'll turn on all the power on the boat. So if you're running the boat, you'll want the switch up. If you have the boat floating in the water and want to keep the bilge pump on in case it takes on any water, flip that down, and that's going to turn your bilge pump on, and it'll kick on every 5 to 10 minutes to see if there's any water in the bottom of the boat. Like I said, if you keep it floating at a pier overnight or something, maybe be a good idea to leave that on. But there you go, that's everything powered back off. And I'll show you a couple things up top here. When you have the battery on, you're going to come over here, and this is your ignition. There's no keys for the boat at all. Right now, there's no security code set, but you can set a 4 to 5 digit security code, where you just basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Right now, I'm just going to hit start twice, and you're going to see everything on the dash start to kick on, and our stereo, obviously. Over here on the left, you're going to have your hour meter. Again, 286 hours there. And then let's go over here. Right now you have your GPS set to off and on. You simply hit that button. That means your speed control is going to be set to whatever. Right now it's set to RPM. There we go. You're going to hold that select button down to get to your other screen. And I'm going to shift over. There we go. Now it's set to 22 since that's highlighted. The top one's RPM lock, which you're probably not going to use. Probably going to want to use that, which is your miles per hour. Then you can simply change that speed up and down. If you want to wakeboard at 18 miles an hour, kick that thing down. I guess I'll hold the button. So you got your seat speed set to 18 now, and when you push the throttle down, Just push it down all the way like so. And once the boat gets up to 18, it's going to beep and lock in and keep your speed right there. You can't adjust it on the fly. So you can just press that up. Say your rider wants to go a little faster, you can kick it up on the fly for them. Another device on the boat, which is this lever here, which is controlling the hydro gate on the back of the boat. It's a small plate that slides up and down right in the center of the boat. With this handle forward, the hydro gate lever push forward, it's going to have the plate down, which is going to help lift the back end of the boat up and get you up on plane a little bit faster. Say you're fully weighted in wakeboarding, you'll want this forward while you're getting up on plane. Once you're up to speed, drop that thing back. The wake will, the back end of the boat will sink down a little deeper into the water, and you'll have a nice steep, clean wakeboard wake. For surfing, it's not as important, but for getting up on plane, but the hydro gate will help clean the wave up at certain speeds depending on where you're at. But that's part of the fun of trying to surf, is figuring out how you want your wave dialed, and the boat allows you to kind of fine tune it how you want. Back to this, if you want to power down the boat completely or just shut the engine off, you'll tap stop once. If you tap it again, it's going to power off everything, your gauges and your stereo. Again, to turn it back on, you just press it again to power the gauges back on. If I wanted to start the boat, which I won't do now, you just tap the button again and it'll start. So the one other thing which is going to be new to you on this Nautique is your ballast. So all the bags in the boat are hooked up directly to these 3 buttons. You've got the starboard and port, which are the rear bags rather. You know, 750-pound bags for each side. If you want to fill these, you just tap those buttons. I'm sure you can hear the whining come on. If you want to drain them, you simply hold them down until they're flashing. So again, tap to turn on, tap and hold to drain. The belly is going to be a tank with a bag plumbed into it. So again, tap it once, the light will be solid and that will fill. When it's flashing, it's draining. Other than that, you've got your heater there. There are 3 settings, so you can tap that 3 times and it'll kick up the power on it. These are going to be, continue where we left off there. These are going to be your nav lights. These would be for underwater lighting. If it was equipped with that, again, that's going to turn your nighttime mode on, so you can see it lights up the gauges as well. And then this is your bilge pump and your blower horn. And that's pretty much it on the dash. One last thing. Glove box is your head unit for the stereo, where you can go in and change the source, tune the bass, treble, and the fade and things. And you can also, if I remember correctly how to do this, just press the center button here, and that flips it down to get to the CD player. So again, just push that center button. Over here on the right, this cord is where you're going to plug in auxiliary cords for phones. So that I'll just keep that in the boat for you. Just plug that into your phone, and yeah, listen to your music there. Again, you got CD players in there, and you got a little charger port. Other than that, underneath the boat's all your amps and your subwoofer. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's all side mounted, bolted down nice and solid, and it leaves you some good space in there for storage and for gear. The ski locker, since we've had the custom bag in here, got that belly bag plumbed in there on top of the, that's plumbed into the tank, hard tank in the belly. And then up here as well, we got another bag plumbed in that fills up this whole U-shaped area of the nose. Again, that is all going to be, both those bags and the belly tank will fill if you hit that center ballast. One last thing, I know you wanted to fold the tower to get it into a garage. It's pretty simple, but it is heavy, so you're going to need at least 2 people to do this, and honestly 3 would be better. But all you're going to do is come over here. This below your board rack, you're going to have a knob that will unscrew. It's not gonna remove, it stays in here, so it's not gonna fall out anywhere. But you wanna do that on both sides. Tighten that up for now, because I can't fold this by myself. But you undo that side, come over to the other side and do the same thing. And it's gonna rotate, fold forward on this hinge here. It's gonna swing forward to the bow of the boat, and it's gonna rest basically right up on this area of the boat. So you probably wanna put a towel or a blanket down so it's not resting directly on the fiberglass, but that is where the tower rests once you fold that forward. So other than that, it's pretty much it. Again, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. But come spring, flip that battery switch on in the back, hook your batteries up, flip that switch up, and hit start, and you'll be good to go. Thanks, friend.